familiar unease gnaws at you, that sense of running in circles, reaching for a horizon that constantly recedes. You've felt it, haven't you? That whisper of a pattern, a glitch in the fabric of your days, suggesting that something fundamental about your reality isn't quite as fixed as you believe. It's not just bad luck. It's not just coincidence. It's an error code flashing on the screen of your existence, demanding to be read. And before we dive deeper, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. These revelations aren't random, and if this video found you, it was meant to. Now let's begin. You try something new, pouring your energy into a different path, yet you find yourself back in the same familiar struggle, encountering the same obstacles, facing the same emotional dead ends. It feels like an invisible hand is guiding you back to square one, doesn't it? This isn't a sign of your weakness. It's a signal of something far more profound. This recurring loop, this predictable disappointment, is not proof that change is impossible. It's proof that your perception of reality and your place within it hasn't fully grasped the command. You are operating with outdated instructions, a previous version of yourself still dictating the output you receive. The universe is merely reflecting the code it's being given. Think of it as a software bug within your personal operating system. You install an update, but old lines of code persist, creating conflicts. These conflicts manifest as the frustration, the repetition, the feeling of being stuck in a narrative you're trying desperately to rewrite. The error isn't in reality itself, but in the residual data points of your observer. This persistent echo isn't a curse, it's a diagnostic tool. It highlights where your internal framework and external ambition are out of alignment. Until you understand the true nature of the observer shaping this reality, these loops will continue to render. Next, we unveil the truth about the observer you forgot you were. You walk through your day, making decisions, reacting to events, believing you are the conscious agent of your reality. But what if the you making those decisions is only a small fraction of the true observer? Your senses act as a limited aperture, filtering an infinite spectrum of data. What remains unseen, unheard, and unfelt still shapes your world in profound ways. This deeper observer, the one you've largely forgotten, operates beneath the surface. It holds a blueprint of your perceived limitations and capabilities. This blueprint isn't just a memory, it's an active projection, continually solidifying the world around you. Every perceived constraint, every recurring pattern is being held in place by this silent architect. You might believe you're actively choosing new desires, new paths. Yet, if the underlying observer hasn't shifted its foundational parameters, the visible reality remains stubbornly the same. It's like trying to change the image on a screen without altering the source file. The image you see is merely a projection of what the deeper observer believes is true. This forgotten observer doesn't just passively watch. It actively collapses possibilities, solidifying one outcome out of countless potentials, moment by moment. Unveiling its mechanisms is the first step to truly altering your reality. But what happens when this forgotten observer is trapped in endless reiteration? Next, we explore the relentless cycle of echo loops. Why life keeps repeating. The same argument with a new partner, the same financial struggle with a different job, the same feeling of inadequacy despite new achievements. It's not déjà vu, it's an echo loop. Your observer, in its forgotten state, is replaying old programs. It's seeking out patterns it recognizes, even if those patterns lead to familiar pain. These loops are not punishments. They are reflections. They reflect the unresolved frequencies within your deeper observer. Each repetition offers another chance to perceive the underlying pattern, to break free from the auto-generated rhythm. But often we react to the surface event, missing the resonant frequency beneath. This is why new resolutions often fail. You set an intention, but the subconscious architect still holds the earlier, stronger instruction. The echo loop isn't just a memory, it's an active current pulling you back into familiar emotional and circumstantial landscapes. It feels inevitable because, For your forgotten observer, it still is. Until you learn to identify these loops as signals rather than fate, you remain trapped in perpetual return. The universe, in its indifferent mirroring, simply shows you what your dominant internal pattern dictates. But what happens when the old pattern holds too much sway? Next, we examine the tenacious grip of identity inertia, the dead self that still drives. You've declared yourself a new person. You've shed old habits, adopted new beliefs, and visualized a different future. Yet, a shadow self persists, pulling you back into old reactions, familiar doubts, and defunct narratives. This isn't weakness, it's identity inertia. The velocity of your past self is still a powerful force, even when it's no longer serving you. This dead self isn't truly dead. It's a dormant program deeply embedded in the subconscious architecture of your observer. It continues to exert influence, like a heavy anchor dragging behind a ship trying to change course. You might be steering towards a new destination, but the old identity is still generating drag. This persistence isn't malicious. It's simply efficient. Your observer has spent years, decades, building and reinforcing this identity. To instantly dismantle it would be like trying to alter the foundation of a skyscraper with a single thought. The old self has momentum, a history of experiences that solidified its perceived reality. Until you consciously acknowledge and disengage from this inertial force, you'll feel perpetually torn. The conscious new you will constantly battle with the unconscious old you, creating constant internal friction. But how does this old self communicate its dominance? Next, we explore how your nervous system is a lens, not a mirror. You experience the world not as it is, but as your nervous system interprets it. This intricate network of electrical impulses and chemical reactions acts as a highly personalized lens, filtering the raw data of reality. It's not just reflecting the external world, it's actively shaping what you perceive moment by moment. This lens is calibrated by your past experiences, your deepest beliefs, and the consistent patterns maintained by your forgotten observer. If your nervous system has learned to perceive threat, scarcity, or inadequacy, that is precisely what it will seek out and amplify in your environment. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy encoded in your biology. This isn't a passive process. Your nervous system actively constructs your reality based on its learned parameters. It determines what stands out, what fades into the background, and what stories are woven around the perceived data. The truth you experience is a highly personalized output of this internal processing unit. So, when you see the same struggles, encounter the same people, or feel the same emotions, it's not just external circumstance. It's your nervous system faithfully rendering a reality that matches its internal programming. But there's a critical time delay in this rendering process. Next, we uncover the implications of reality lag, the delay that doubles down. You make a decision, feel a shift, and then nothing. Or worse, the old reality intensifies before any new outcome appears. This isn't a sign that your efforts are futile. It's the unavoidable consequence of reality lag. Just as light from distant stars takes time to reach us, the manifestation of your new observer takes time to propagate through your perceived reality. This lag isn't a bug, it's a feature of how reality recalibrates. Your old identity, with its established patterns, has built up a tremendous amount of momentum. The physical manifestation of your world is denser, slower to shift. It takes a sustained and consistent signal from your reformed observer to overwrite these established patterns. Think of it like a massive ship. You turn the rudder, but the ship continues in its old direction for a significant period before the new course takes hold. The perceived inertia, the temporary re-emergence of old problems, is simply the universe unwinding the momentum of your previous instruction. It's the ghost of a past signal still echoing through mass. Many abandon their new intentions during this lag, mistaking the persistence of the old reality for failure. They don't realize they're observing the tail end of a past command, rather than the initial stages of a new one. But what determines which signals even make it through this lag? Next, we investigate the filter grid, reticular activation as fate. You suddenly notice red cars everywhere after you decide you want one. Or you hear about a specific obscure topic everywhere after a single conversation. This isn't coincidence. It's your reticular activating system, or RAS, at work. This neurological filter acts as a personal gatekeeper, determining what information from the infinite influx actually reaches your conscious awareness. The RAS is your personal filter grid, sifting through billions of bits of data every second. It's designed to prioritize what's important to you based on your beliefs, intentions, and the underlying programs of your forgotten observer. What you focus on expands, not just because you're actively seeking it, but because your internal filter is now calibrated to find it. This means your fate is often predetermined not by external forces, but by the internal settings of this filter grid. If you unconsciously believe in scarcity, your RAS will highlight every piece of evidence confirming that belief. If you truly believe in opportunity, your RAS will illuminate every potential pathway. It's a self-reinforcing loop of perception. The reality you experience is, in large part, the processed output of this meticulous filter. It doesn't just show you what's there, it actively builds your perceived world by showing you what it deems relevant. But what happens when other filters from other parts of you interfere? Next, we delve into timeline residue. When parallel selves keep rendering you back, you feel like two different people, one pulling you forward, the other anchoring you to the past. This isn't just an internal struggle, it's the interference pattern of timeline residue. Aspects of you, parallel selves, are still operating on different vibrational frequencies, rendering different realities, and their energetic presence can pull your current observer back. Imagine countless versions of you existing across a subtly shifting spectrum of possibilities. When you commit to a new path, you begin to align with a new timeline. However, the energetic signature of the you on the abandoned timeline can still influence your current experience, much like a faint radio signal from a distant station. It creates a subtle but persistent drag. This residue manifests as recurring doubts, sudden urges to revert to old behaviors, or inexplicable synchronicity connecting you back to past situations. These are not failures. They are echoes from versions of you still holding onto a different reality, a different set of choices. Their reality is still, in a sense, rendering. Until you consciously disentangle from these parallel energetic signatures, you'll experience a constant push-pull, making it difficult to fully consolidate your new reality. But how do you actively disengage and rewrite the script? Next, we explore the power of micro-experiments, proving reality is responding to the script. You're told reality is malleable, but your conditioned mind demands proof. This is where micro-experiments come in. Instead of trying to manifest a grand, life-altering shift immediately, start with small, seemingly inconsequential shifts. These are your controlled trials, designed to reveal the responsiveness of reality to your conscious observation. Choose a specific, mundane detail you want to see. A specific color of car, a particular bird, a word you rarely hear. Hold the intention with unwavering belief, then completely release it. Observe without attachment how quickly and effortlessly these small details appear in your perceived environment. This isn't coincidence, it's feedback. Each successful micro-experiment isn't just a fun trick. It's undeniable proof, delivered directly to your nervous system, that your observer indeed holds power. It begins to rewire your filter grid, convincing your forgotten observer that your conscious intentions are valid commands. These small shifts build powerful momentum. This is how you bridge the gap between belief and knowing. You're not just trying to convince yourself, you're actively engaging with reality in a way that forces it to demonstrate its adaptability. But once you have this proof, how do you dismantle the old? Next, we learn about symbolic revocation, how to collapse the old feed. The old narrative, the limiting beliefs, the identity inertia, they are held in place by powerful symbols. A faded photograph, a specific piece of clothing, an old email chain. These aren't just objects, they are anchors, energetically linking you to the timeline residue of your past self. To collapse the old feed, you must symbolically revoke these anchors. This isn't about destroying memories. It's about consciously breaking the energetic cord that connects these symbols to your current perceived reality. Write down a limiting belief and burn it. Delete old emails that define a past failure. Donate clothes that scream old identity. These acts are powerful declarations to your observer. The universe responds to symbolic language. When you perform a symbolic revocation, you are telling your subconscious architect, in a language it understands, that those programs are no longer active. You are consciously cutting off the feed from the old timeline, redirecting the energy to your desired future. It's a ritual of release. This doesn't erase the past, but it stops the past from actively rendering your present and future. You are actively collapsing those probability waves. But once the old is gone, how do you immediately embody the new? Next, we activate paradox activation, being the outcome before it echoes back. The ultimate leap in quantum manifestation isn't waiting for the outcome to confirm your new identity. It's the paradoxical act of embodying the outcome asterisk before it physically appears. You don't just aspire to be successful, you become the feeling of success, the demeanor of abundance, the inner certainty of achievement right now. This is where the observer effect becomes a conscious tool. You are creating the blueprint, not by seeking external validation, but by generating the internal frequency of your desired reality. Your nervous system, your filter grid, your entire being begins to resonate with the future you are bringing into existence. This feels like a paradox because our linear minds expect cause and effect. But in a quantum reality, your internal state is the cause. When you paradoxically activate the outcome, you are collapsing the wave function of possibility into the specific manifestation you desire, making it inevitable. You are literally observing it into being. This isn't about faking it until you make it. It's about knowing it until it's rendered. You are becoming the beacon that attracts the matching reality. But to fully embrace this, you must confront the deepest fear, identity death, observing the ghost without becoming it. As you fully embrace paradox activation, the old self, the past identity, truly begins to dissolve. This phase can feel like a profound loss, a moment of identity death. The familiar landmarks of who you thought you would disappear, leaving a void. This is not something to fear, it is the necessary clearing for the new to fully emerge. During this period, you may feel disoriented, like a ghost in your own life. Old emotional patterns might surface one last time, tempting you to re-engage. Observe these echoes without attachment. See them as the final energetic residue, dissipating now that their supporting identity has truly collapsed. They are ghosts, not solid reality. The key is to observe this dying self without becoming it again. Do not feed it with attention or give it new life through emotional entanglement. Acknowledge its presence, understand its purpose in your past, and then let it fully go. It's the final stage of releasing the inertial drag. This is the ultimate surrender, the letting go of the known for the infinite unknown of your potential. You are creating a vacuum into which your desired reality can effortlessly flow. But even after all this, a final question lingers, one that touches the very fabric of collective reality. Next, we ask the final question: who else is still rendering you? You've shifted your observer, collapsed old timelines, and activated your desired reality. Yet, subtle instances of old patterns can still sometimes appear, like faint ripples. This is because your reality isn't solely a product of your individual observer. You exist within a collective, and others, consciously or unconsciously, are also rendering a version of you. Your family, friends, colleagues, and even societal structures hold beliefs and expectations about who you are. These perceptions, though not as powerful as your own, contribute to the energetic web that forms your perceived reality. Their unconscious agreement with your old identity can create slight energetic resistance to your complete shift. This isn't to say you are not in control. Your individual observer is paramount. However, acknowledging the collective influence allows for a deeper understanding of those rare moments when you feel pulled back. It's a reminder that while you are the primary architect of your world, you are also part of a larger canvas of interweaving perceptions. The question isn't about their power over you, but about your awareness of their underlying blueprint. As your new reality solidifies, their old rendered version of you will naturally fade, losing its energetic charge. But understanding this dynamic reveals a deeper layer of how reality is constantly co-created and perpetually collapsing into being. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.